Good afternoon and welcome to Positive Impact for Mind and Body. I'm Nicole Fevrier-Davis, your psychic trainer, and I'm happy to be back. I took last week off for a little break, but I'm so happy to be back on air, so to speak, with you guys. You really do inspire me, and I want to thank you all for being a part of whatever I have to offer here. It's always very exciting for me to get feedback from people, especially from our Positive Impact audience. It's so exciting. Today I wanted to talk about migraines. You know, I had a funny experience while I was on vacation. I've had clients who've had migraines in the past, and they've always kind of been elusive, not really being able to nail why they have migraines or how they have migraines. But I had some interesting experiences more recently. So I was waiting on vacation in a dealership to get my brakes done. Yeah, that's the kind of vacation it was. But my son had expressed interest in learning how to draw. And I was starting to show him how to block out parts of the body. I don't know if you know, but in my former life, I was an illustrator, an artist. I mean, we're all artists, right? Damn it. We're all artists. We all have a creative side to ourselves. So I was showing my son how to draw. And the next day, we went into the dealership to pick up my car from the dealership, getting my brakes done. And just, you know, there's no mistakes in anything, right? This man walks past and he has a big drawing pad. And at first I was like, I'm not going to embarrass my son because I was going to say, can you show us your drawings? Maybe I'd embarrass the guy, right? So I wasn't sure how that was going to go. So instead of embarrassing either of them, I waited till he passed and he walked into the garage area, and I followed him, not stalker style. Hi, Papa. But I did follow him, and I asked him, you know, what are you drawing? And he said, anything, everyone, anything I can. Papa, this is right up your alley, right? Drawing people. Well, maybe you're into painting more. But I said, really? You know, have you been trained in it? He said, no, I was never formally trained as an artist, but I do it. Get this. Pay attention, people with migraines. I do it to control my migraines. So I don't know if you're aware that when you are drawing, you're actually utilizing a different part of the brain that, that doesn't, let's say, engage in logical thought, right? So for as much as we're trying to figure out how our brains are working, why you're having a migraine, why it's doing this, it's my life. Yes, I know. I love art too. I'm so glad you're back, Papa. I missed you. You were out of the picture there for a little while, but I'm glad you're back. So I would engage people when they were in pain in different ways in drawing exercises just to get their mind off of it. But what I'm realizing now after several more readings is that, and what the angels are telling me, two things happen. One, we are sometimes pre-wired to have an excessive amount of blood flow to certain parts of the brain. And part of it is a history of having that predisposition. Part of it is also how we handle problems in our lives. But the other piece of this is, and this is a jewel as well, we're not really acknowledging our own truth. That's the end sum of it in a migraine. We're not acknowledging something in ourselves that needs to be spoken as a truth. Does that make sense? And for someone who's not acknowledging their personal truth, let's say they need more recognition at work, right? Usually they have stomach issues. Someone who doesn't acknowledge their truth in loving relationships may get it in the heart. They may have a heart attack. Someone who's not acknowledging their truth in terms of like past history in relationships or attempting to assert themselves in past relationships may feel it in their backs. Okay. So why in the brain? Why was that happening in the brain for a lot of people? Their migraines are always kind of like the guidepost for the day. How's my day going to go? Am I going to have a migraine or not? Or am I going to be able to live my life normally? And what I find happens is that usually the migraines don't actually activate or happen in the moment that you think they would. So in other words, you may have had some sort of a fight or traumatic experience or something like that. Sometimes they happen in that moment, but sometimes there's like a delayed effect. So part of this is learning how to manage the pain by doing things like drawing. You could take obviously pain medications, etc., over the counter. Don't get crazy. But you can also start doing this as another practice. Start writing things out that are meaningful to you. And when I say that, I'm saying if you just sat right now and thought about your biggest issue, the biggest problem of your life right now, and you took a moment to write exactly how you thought it should go, or what you hope to get from that situation, or what you'd hope the reaction would be to that situation versus what you actually got. Start to acknowledge those things that maybe you've been trained to ignore. Maybe you were trained to ignore it from very young, that, this is a part of your reality, but, so what, too bad. Maybe it happened in childhood. Children are supposed to be seen, not heard. How many times have we heard that? That happened with the reading that I gave to Tony a few months back, and she had thyroid issues as a result of it. So what you want to do is get really comfortable speaking your truth over and over and over again, whether it's in written form, whether you're talking to a good friend. Sometimes I feel it's more important to have a physical activity that's related to it. That's why I say draw with the left hand. And Papa knows this. Do you know this book, Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain? That's an old book. But it's a goodie. And I know there's a lot of new brain science out there that's stating that, when we're creative, all different parts of the brain fire at once. But I have yet to see anyone suffer or do worse as an artist from that book. It's a good book to read, but it's also a way for you to retrain your brain away from the pain timeline. And I talk a lot about the pain timeline in my Be a Body Psychic workshops. But the pain timeline basically is something that happens over the course of time. So you experience some emotional trauma, some mental trauma, and the more strongly held beliefs and emotions you have about that, usually on the negative side, the longer they have in your lifetime to be powerful and create something maybe you don't want in your mind and body. Does that make sense? The opposite is also true. So what if you experience total joy, sheer ecstasy in something? Then you have that history of that experience that you can replicate over and over and over again every time you remember it, and your body's remembering it, and it's remembering how to be joyful and happy. So what we're trying to do is give your mind and body a task. Yeah. What we're trying to do is give our mind and body a task so that we can retrain our brain to get the blood flowing in a different area. Okay, so drawing from the right side of the brain would focus on left-handed, free-handed drawing. Now, the option of this game wasn't or the object of the exercise wasn't necessarily to create masterpieces. It was to train the eye and to get your brain to shift out of cognitive conscious awareness. Because when you're drawing something, there's a part of your brain that's saying, oh, that's an eye, so it should look like an eye. But the way I draw an eye isn't actually the reality of it. The reality of it is that there's more of a slant here. This looks like an oblong circle more than a hard circle for the pupil, etc. What we tend to do is we tend to put in our conscious awareness, our own description of what it is, unless we shift our brain out of that sphere of thought, out of that area of the brain that's functioning. So to take it out of that logical area, you have to use the left hand. And if you're left-handed, you use the right. It's the non-dominant hand that you use. but that helps shift the blood flow in the brain to a different area, so it's not engaging in the same pattern that it's used to when it goes through migraine cycle. So I felt really blessed to have seen this guy. First of all, having no training, he did a really beautiful job. He did some amazing work having zero training. Okay. Secondly, he found a tool, God bless him, to help him control the pain in his migraine when he gets migraines. Now, the other piece of this is you have to eat well. You have to have good rest. And you have to be able to speak your truth, right? So speaking your truth about that thing that's been harboring in your heart or your mind or your body for a long time, that's going to be a huge indicator about how much pain and suffering you're going to go through. So if you don't want pain and suffering, start speaking your truth consistently. Start getting on board with your soul in terms of how to communicate with the rest of your body. And I think those things are the most important things when you're looking at things like migraine pain. When you have pain in any part of the body, though, I think I'm going to follow up with this on Thursday at 1 o'clock. When you have pain in other parts of the body, I'll talk to you a little bit more about truth talking in those areas of the body that can help you relieve pain and suffering while you're acknowledging your own truth. And that's the biggest piece of it, right? So I just wanted to thank you all. Again, I'm going to keep it short today, but I'm excited to be back. And I think Charity might join me on Thursday. I'm not sure. I have to find out if she's back also, but I hope to be. And please feel free to leave any comments or questions. If you want to go to my website for that free meditation, body scan meditation, I left you the link to my website, and go under meditations, okay? Or you can also go to the body scan page, and at the top of the page, you'll see the body, Be a Body Psychic page. At the top of the page, you'll see the body scan meditation. It's an easy, free download you can enjoy right now. Under that is a free fear and anxiety management meditation. So go enjoy, have a fantastic day, enjoy the sun. I'm going to be out there in a moment, and I will talk to you on Thursday. Love and enjoy your mind and body. Always follow me, Nicole at Nicole's MBM, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and right here on Positive Impact. Okay, bye.